My name is Jonathan Walker, and I build spaceships. I get most of my inspiration not from science fiction, film, or TV shows, but from architecture.
Okay.
So I look at a lot of architecture books, architecture documentaries, and get ideas for shapes that I like, and then try to translate those shapes into spaceship designs.
Okay, so was there a particular building or architect that inspired this one here, the Dreadful Angel, I think it's called?
Yeah, this is actually the fourth of 4 white builds that I did, primarily inspired by an architect named Santiago Calatrava. And he does a lot of organic type architecture, a lot of interesting curves and shapes. And so I've been trying to come up with interesting sort of organic shapes and then apply that to spaceship design.
Mm-hmm. And what I love here is how smooth it is, and you've got those great curves there. So how did you achieve that technique?
Well, I think I invented the technique because I haven't seen it elsewhere, but it's not that tricky. It's traditional brick bending of 1x2 bricks on the backside, and then in each of the gaps is a series of headlight bricks where the headlight bricks, the stud of the headlight brick, they're facing each other, and since it doesn't quite mate properly, it forces the gap open, and so you can make these arc segments with embedded headlight bricks to force the shape.
Okay, yeah, so that works really well then to get that curve effect there. And so what's kind of the general structure of the whole thing that kind of keeps it all together?
The two sort of, the long prongs.
Yeah.
It's basically just Technic attached to plates oriented sideways so that it won't sag. Mm-hmm. And then each of these angle bracket pieces, inside there's also a brick underneath so that it forms a 2-plate gap. And so these wedges are just shoved in. There's actually no stud connections at all. Okay. They're just sort of wedged in, and that way you can get any slope that you want because you're not constrained by any stud connections.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Just sandwich those wedges in there, and the friction just holds it tight.
Yeah, very impressive.
It's easy to remove and modify and transport. Mm-hmm.
Sure, and I noticed you've got it on a stand as well there, so is that just kind of easier to display it then, or do you build it like that on the stand?
No, it actually will come off the stand.
Okay.
It will slide out of the stand. But I always like to try to present things in a manner where the stand itself is part of the presentation. Mm-hmm. So, and I like to have the stands have a lot of mass, be very solid, keep the model stable and sturdy.
Sure. So then when you're moving this to a show like this, is it all just one piece? How does that work when you bring it into the show?
No, each of the side arm prong things, there's just this element here that attaches this whole structure to the center structure. So each side pops out, and just use some food wrap, wrap it up for protection, and throw it in a box and hope for the best.